Today we're going to be taking a look at my 3 most anticipated fighting games of 2022. Let's get into it. Let's go ahead and talk about the one that's coming out first, the King of Fighters 15. King of Fighters is a series that I have zero experience in. The only thing I really know from it is that it's a team game, so it's like 2v2 or 3v3, but not in the sense that you can tag them in. I believe it's like an actual like true 3v3, so you have to kill a character before the next one can come in. And that is a mechanic that I have no experience in, and I'm very excited to try out. Also, from what I've seen, the meter seems like it works a lot differently than what I'm used to, and like max mode and things like that I don't really understand yet. And I didn't get a chance to play in either of the betas, so when the game comes out on February 17th, that will be my first time getting to play it at all. And I'd say the thing I'm looking forward to the most on that first day is picking my team. There's like 38 characters already, and I don't think they're done announcing them. I think they're going to stop at 40. And they already have 2 or 3 DLCs, I think, confirmed on the Steam page, so there's a ridiculous amount of characters to choose from. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun sifting through all of them. There's a few characters I have my eye on that I might try out. I think Chizuru, King for sure, and probably Vanessa. I don't know. I have to try them out, but those are the 3 that caught my eye so far. Something I think that's really cool about these characters is the attachment that a lot of the community has to them that, I mean, unfortunately I don't, because the game is so old. I have not played them. The first one is like 95, I think, and I wasn't even born yet. And then 2002, I was like 4 years old. So some of these characters I feel like are as old as me. Or you guys haven't seen some of these characters since I was a little kid. Like, I think Yashiro, the last game he was in, was like 15 years ago or something. There's multiple characters in this game that you guys have not seen in like 10 plus years. And to me, that is crazy. Like, that seems really cool. I would be really excited if I was a KOF fan. As far as the marketing goes for this game, like trying to get casuals to come in and people who have not played the series before, I think they're doing their best. I think what a lot of new titles are benefiting from nowadays is influencer marketing. So like getting big streamers and paying them a lot of money to play your game goes a long way, at least when it comes out. ArcSys has tried to do it a few times, like way after the game came out. They did it with RDC World a couple weeks ago, and it doesn't really do anything because I think everybody who wants the game has bought it by now. But I will say ArcSys did hit their mark with trying to get casuals to come into the game. And I think the art style of Guilty Gear and the character design and how flashy the game looks visually is what really brought a lot of people in, and I don't know if this game has it. To me and you who play fighting games and who watch these trailers that they're putting out, we see all these different things that characters can do, and we think it's cool. Like, you can do this you can do this combo route, you can do this conversion, you can burn meter here and do a bunch of cool stuff. To us, that's cool because we play these games. To casuals, that looks like work. That looks like an obstacle. It looks really hard. As well as the fact that the character designs just aren't as flashy as Guilty Gear. I don't think they're bad. I think they're good character designs, but they just aren't as flashy to a casual player, I don't think. As well as the graphics of the game itself. Like, just seeing it in motion, it doesn't look as fluid as Guilty Gear did in the trailers that they're putting out. But with all that said, it is the 15th iteration of a game, so it's obviously got some pull, and it's obviously got some fans that are foaming at the mouth to get their hands on it. For me, I'm excited to play these characters. I'm excited to test out the rollback because I heard it's actually pretty good in that second beta. I'm just excited for something new, you know? As far as the concerns go, I think it's going to have to sell itself to me. I wouldn't say graphically. I don't really care about the graphics too much, but animation-wise. Some of the animations in the trailers, we can all admit, look kind of wonky in the earlier ones, but in the later trailers, it seems like they've kind of smoothed them out. So I'm curious to see how that looks in the end, in the final product. The next game on my list is DNF Duel. Again, I didn't get a chance to play this beta, but I watched a ton of it and it looks really fun. It uses an MP system, I think, which is supposed to be like EX moves. I think you have normal moves, special moves, then you have MP moves, and then you can even convert your gray life into MP. I think it's one of those games that's going to be very simple at the surface, but have a lot of depth to it at the highest level, which is a good balance to strike. It also has that ArcSys visual flair to it. It looks amazing. And the supers, like Berserkers especially, remind me a lot of Rev 2. It kind of has like a Rev 2 art style to it in that way. As well as the lobbies, like the little player rooms, have the ArcSys feel to it as well. It's more like Grand Blue than Rev 2, I think, though, in the lobbies. But anything to get rid of those battle stations from Strive, dude, that shit is trash. The characters they chose, I think, are really cool, and a lot of them, even the ones that I'm not interested in playing, look really fun in motion. Like, I wouldn't be upset with having to play one of them. The 3 characters I'm really excited to try out in that game are probably Striker, Kunoichi, and Berserker, as well as Ghostblade, who was revealed in the actual like official trailer after the beta. You saw him for a little bit in there. That game has a lot of room to grow, because if you look up like the Neo versions of the different classes, like Neo Berserker or whatever, on Google, you will see the art for it is like phenomenal. The art for it is crazy, and I hope that they put some of those characters in the game, or like make a mechanic where you can level up your character, maybe like have level 2s or something. I don't know how they would do it, but that they need to put those characters in the game. They look really cool. As far as the gameplay itself, from what I could see, the damage is not as egregious as in Strive, like where you get counter hit and you're fucking dead. But it's not low either. And they also have like some things they need to fix. Like I think Grappler has an infinite that is not hard to do. And I heard that some characters are like leaps and bounds above the rest. So maybe some balancing changes. I think Striker was very good in the beta. As far as netcode goes, it does have rollback, and it has the Arxis rollback. So I'm very hopeful that it will be good, because in every iteration of their games that they've either gone back and put rollback in, or in Strive, the rollback is phenomenal. You don't have issues playing people within the US. You can play coast to coast. You can play people in other countries if you want. It is truly revolutionary, I think. So I'm not really worried about the rollback implementation in that game. I honestly don't know what Arxis did, but like they have never had that problem where it's one-sided, like how Melty Blood did when it came out, where one person was just lagging, or how Street Fighter has. Whoever they hired to do that like did a very good job, because I've never felt like one-sided rollback in any of those games. If I'm lagging, the other person is lagging, and you can tell. And this last game is one that I'm probably most excited for, but it has not been officially announced yet. However, I think it's safe to assume that we can expect some type of news on Street Fighter 6 within the year of 2022. I was going to put Project L in here, but that game is not, there's not a snowball's chance in hell that that game comes out this year. Probably not even fucking next year. We might get a beta or something at the end of 2023. But the reason I think we can pretty safely assume that some news about Street Fighter 6 will come out this year is because of all those like updates they've been doing, like the summer update, and at the end of the last one they said that was going to be the end of Street Fighter 5's development. Luke is the last character. We'll get a final patch in March. Seems like they're gearing up to announce something big, or at least some next iteration. And I think you can expect that announcement probably after the Capcom Cup exhibition matches. They did them last year when they had to cancel, and they canceled this year, so they'll probably be doing the same thing. It's not the ideal situation I would want to hear about the game in, but at this point, I just want to hear anything about it. The way they've been doing things lately, I think after the exhibition matches, they'll say that in 2 weeks they'll have some announcement show. I think that's what's going to end up happening. It'll be an announcement for an announcement. As far as what I hope to see in that game, at least one of the characters that I play, I play a lot of characters in Street Fighter 5, so hopefully at least one of them shows back up. And maybe some new characters that I have never like seen or played before from Street Fighter 4 come back in Street Fighter 6. That would be cool. But I don't think they're in a rush this time. I think that's why they gave Street Fighter 5 the extra season, because COVID kind of delayed development for 6 is what I'm guessing, and they weren't going to make the same mistake where they just rush out 6 and everybody hates it, because you can recover from having to delay your game, but you can't recover from a bad release. Street Fighter 5 kind of did it, but it took them 4 or 5 years, and they had the capital to do that. I don't think there's a lot of games that can come out completely flop and still be able to support it for 4 to 5 years until it finally is in like a good state. But I think games like Street Fighter can, because they have the capital to do so. Like Capcom is a huge company, and Resident Evil Village sold like fucking hotcakes, so they definitely had the money to keep going. Hopefully they take some of that money and spread the wealth to the Street Fighter division so they can pay for better netcode, because I don't know what kind of rollback they put in 5, but it works when it wants to, and when it doesn't want to, it is the worst experience ever, because it is like the king of one-sided rollback. When it doesn't work, you will be playing a completely different game than your opponent. Your opponent won't even feel the lag. They'll fucking ready up after the match. You'll be lagging around, seeing them skip everywhere, then they ready up afterwards because they don't care. It doesn't feel any different on their end. It does almost the opposite of what the Cannon brothers were talking about in the Project L trailer, where they said in Project L, the netcode will be able to tell like who is lagging and they will be penalized. But in Street Fighter 5, it picks the person that isn't lagging, and then you get punished. And it's like, what is even going on? And the only explanation I've heard for it is like, if you're playing on better hardware, if I'm playing on PC to PS4, my packets are getting to the other person on time, but the other person's packets are getting to me like staggered because they're dropping packets. So I'm getting like random inputs and I'm getting like lag on my end because their hardware and their internet cannot keep up with mine. So in turn, I am being punished. So yeah, that's my biggest hope for Street Fighter 6 is a netcode update so we can play coast to coast and around the country. But to wrap it all up, King of Fighters will be coming out on February 17th. DNF Duel is set to come out in the summer of 2022, and Street Fighter 6, who knows? That's going to be it for me today. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching.